going to get into baseball and the salary cap situation. There are stories coming out that a lot of different players have said that maybe there should be a salary cap because of the deferred situation that the Dodgers are bringing to the table. I know it's been around a long time, Goody and Joba. I know every team could do it, but people are upset about this because a lot of people believe, especially small market teams and organizations believe, that the Dodgers are buying championships and championships and championships. And now 2026 is around the corner, the new CBA. Should there be a salary cap in baseball? Now, I know what you guys are going to say. The Players Union are not going to allow it. They're not going to accept that. But to me, you have to look at the situation for what it is. It's worked in basketball. It's worked in hockey. It's worked in football. Why isn't it not going to work in baseball? It should. It should open up the floodgates to open up the small market teams to win championships. Actually study who you're drafting, even though it's not as easy when it comes to baseball because there's like 17 rounds in baseball. I mean, it's a completely different, baseball's completely different. It used to be like 30 or 40 rounds. I think
there's 50.
50. There you go. I mean, Mike Piazza was drafted in the 20s or 30s or whatever.
No, he was like the
49th.
Oh, 49th.
No, like
all right.
55th, I think.
Because of Tony La Russa, whatever. Not Tony La Russa. Tommy Lasorda. That's right. From the Dodgers. I'm sorry. But I think there should be something. I think baseball should investigate and look into this. Now, obviously, I'm not a former baseball player, but I have to look at the small market teams that are never going to get over the hump if this continues to happen. You got this kid Witt. He's going to become a free agent. And what is he going to go to the Dodgers for $750 million of deferred money? I mean, this doesn't help. I know you're going to bring up the Yankees, and everybody's going to say, you're a Yankee fan. That's why you say it. No, I disagree. I think the Yankees built around a core of players. Yes, they spent money at times. Did the Yankees really win besides 1 year in 2009? Joba, you know this. When they went after Teixeira, CC Sabathia, and Burnett, they didn't win anything after that. And during the time that they bought
just for the record, Bobby Witt signed 11-year, $200.
I'm just saying.
He ain't going to be a free agent.
I got it. I understand that. I'm just saying. Does this help baseball? I think that baseball should look into this. I think there should be a salary cap. I think there has to be something that capped out. And this deferred money, there has to be something set in stone in the CBA to kind of clean this deferred money situation up. I don't think it's helping baseball.
With baseball and how our union has fought for everything for as long as it has. And as we talked when we had Ken Rosenthal on and we asked about that, and, somebody of that nature and saying, yeah, it's talked about, but don't think it's ever going to happen. First of all, I don't think the players are going to let it happen. Mm-hmm. I don't think Tony Clark will let it happen as a player, and now having him as the head of our union and the understanding of what guys have fought for in getting these contracts, and I get where the deferred money is a little bit different, but I loved how we got a little bit of breakdown of how the deferred money works and that they still have to fund the deferred money, and it's not just like, hey, we're paying it all at once, and we have to show that they're actually doing that. I just don't think it'll ever happen. But also, too, Speedy, you make a great point. Brewers didn't even spend $1 million on anything this offseason. So
I think the Twins have spent $8 million in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and so when you go to these teams, and that's where now as you're above the luxury tax and whatever, now that gets divvied up into all these other teams. So what makes it the year that the Marlins hadn't spent over, I don't even think it was $8 million in like 3 years in free agency or anything, and then they ended up signing Reyes and Burley that year for like almost $100 million between the two, was the first time that, because they were basically forced upon having to spend that money. So I just don't think there will ever be a cap per se, because it's just our union won't allow it. They're going to try and fight for it. I just don't think it'll ever happen because of the longevity of what our union has created to protect our players, to make sure that they get this money. A guy that signs a big contract, everybody behind him is like, thank you. Why are a lot of guys waiting sometimes to sign free agent contracts? Because they want to see what happens, and they're allowed to do that. So that's why I just don't think it'll ever happen.
Every team can play within the boundaries and the rules that have been laid out. And so for the smaller market teams that aren't doing it, that's on them. But for the bigger market teams that are doing it, good, go for it. It helps the team. It helps baseball. Like, obviously, they're the ones that are going out and wanting to win championships, whether they're buying them or not. Who cares? They're playing within the rules and they're making it happen. And like, to me, I would like to see a Cleveland, or I would like to see a Tampa Bay Rays or whoever go out and do that and defer some money. If I was still playing, I would love to defer money. I mean, we still celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day. He gets like $1.2 million, whatever.
I don't celebrate any of that. I'm not a Met fan.
But it's deferred money's been happening for years. Yeah. You just didn't hear about it as much. Like,
because it was an escape of the contract, not a strategy actually used to sign the contract originally.
But necessarily that's not true, because Ken Griffey Jr.'s done it, and the Reds weren't paying any money. He was the highest paid player on a Reds team before Votto. Right. Making like 3.5 in the deferred. So it's happened.
Not only this, but you guys were talking about like a handful of contracts throughout the whole major league that are being deferred. It's not like everybody's getting deferred money. It's just the teams that are wanting and willing to do it are going to do it, and the other teams aren't doing it. And
well, you got to also remember, Goody, it's not only the team, it's the player as well being able
they have to agree to it.